All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about an idea that kind of turns what we've all been taught about money completely upside down. We're going to see why the single most powerful factor in building wealth might not be what you think it is at all.
Okay, so let me just ask you, when you think about getting wealthy, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it about landing that huge six-figure salary? Or maybe, I don't know, picking that one magic stock that just blows up overnight?
For most of us, it's all about those common beliefs, a high income or incredible investment returns. But today, we're looking at a much simpler and frankly, a way more powerful truth. The most crucial factor is your savings rate. It's not about how much you make, it's all about how much you keep. Now, to really get why, we first have to look at where we usually go wrong. Which brings us to this whole idea of, chasing the uncontrollable. I mean, just think about it for a second. Getting a massive raise or a big promotion, a lot of that depends on your boss, on your company's performance, the entire economy, right? And trying to beat the stock market? Come on, that's a game of trying to predict global events, corporate drama, and what millions of other people are going to do. It's all just shrouded in uncertainty and pretty much out of your personal control. So if chasing big paychecks and market returns is kind of like playing a rigged game, what's the right game to play? Well, this is where we get to the heart of it all, the savings rate. And to really grasp how powerful this is, let's look at a pretty cool analogy from history. Okay, so picture this. It's the 1970s, the oil crisis hits, and everyone is freaking out, thinking we're going to run out of oil. The obvious answer seemed to be, well, just find more oil. But the lasting solution wasn't just about supply. It was about demand. The world got smart. We started building cars, factories, and homes that were way more fuel efficient. They solved the problem by dialing up their efficiency. And this analogy maps perfectly onto our own finances. Chasing high investment returns, that's exactly like scrambling to find more oil. It's super uncertain, and honestly, you don't have much control. But boosting your savings rate, that's you becoming more energy efficient. It is something that is 100% in your hands. Think about it like this. The power of saving $1 today is going to be exactly the same tomorrow. It's a sure thing, 100%. The market, it could go up, down, sideways, who knows. Your salary could change, but the simple act of spending less than you earn, that is a strategy with a guaranteed rate of success. Period. So the crucial point is this. If wealth is just the leftovers, then the size of your spoon doesn't matter nearly as much as how much you leave in the pot. You can absolutely build wealth on a pretty modest income if you have a high savings rate, but you have like zero chance, literally zero, of building wealth on a huge income if you save nothing. Okay, so this brings us to something a little deeper. Because saving money, it's often less about spreadsheets and math and way more about psychology. It's this constant battle between your ego and your income. I absolutely love this definition because it just reframes the whole thing. Saving isn't about depriving yourself. It's about managing your own expectations, right? It's about creating this little buffer, this gap between what you could spend to look good and what you actually spend to live your life. So if you want to make that savings gap bigger, you've really only got two levers to pull. You can try to raise your income or you can lower your ego. And let's be real, for most of us, lowering that ego bar, fighting that urge to upgrade your car just because your neighbor did, that is so much easier and way more in your control. And you know what? This is basically a financial superpower. The moment you stop caring about using money to prove to other people that you have money, so much financial stress just poof, it disappears. The people who really win at personal finance are often the ones who just don't give a damn what anyone else thinks about their car or their clothes. But what are we even saving for? We're always told to save for a down payment or save for retirement. But what if the biggest, most incredible benefit of saving has nothing to do with any specific goal at all? Look, saving for goals is smart. I'm not knocking it. But it kind of assumes the future is predictable. And we all know the real world is, well, it's anything but. Saving just for the sake of saving is your defense against life's incredible ability to throw a curveball at you at the absolute worst moment. This leads to a really interesting, kind of paradoxical question. What's the real return on cash just sitting in your bank account, earning, let's be honest, pretty much 0% interest? The bank statement might say 0, but the real world return is massive. The answer is something you could call the unseen return. It's never going to show up on a spreadsheet, but man, it might be one of the most valuable assets you could ever own. So what is this unseen return? It's flexibility. It's the freedom to quit that job you hate. It's the ability to wait for a really great investment opportunity instead of being forced to sell your stocks when the market tanks. It's the power to handle a medical emergency without drowning in debt. In one word, it's control.
Just let that sink in for a second. When you save money, you are literally buying back your own future. You're buying freedom from a future boss you might not like, or a future lender, or some random emergency that would have otherwise backed you into a corner. You are giving the future version of you the incredible gift of having options. Okay, so let's tie this all together. Let's talk about a new way to define wealth, one that makes a lot more sense for the world we're living in right now.
In a world that's so hyper-connected, where the talent pool is literally the entire planet, just being smart isn't the edge it used to be. The new competitive advantage is flexibility. It's the ability to pivot, to learn new things, to wait for the right career move. And what's the fuel for that flexibility? You guessed it, savings.
And that's really what this all boils down to. The real payoffs you get from a high savings rate isn't more stuff. It's not a bigger house or a fancier car. The ultimate return, the true definition of wealth, is having control over your most valuable non-renewable resource, your time. In a world that's getting richer, but also somehow more stressful and demanding, the simple ability to wake up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want today, that is becoming one of the most valuable currencies on the planet. And it's a currency that you can only get through saving.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. As you're building your career, your life, your finances, what is your wealth really buying for you? Is it just buying more things? Or is it buying you something priceless, freedom, flexibility, and control over your own life? Something to think about.